Oh, look at what we have here. Dogwood. You know how you can tell a dogwood tree? By its bark. Good morning and welcome to a beautiful day up north. But we have a little project to do today. We are going to swing down to Duluth because it is a big day for my daughter. We are moving her into her college apartment and then she starts medical school. But after that quick excursion, it's back to the land to continue to work on projects inside the bunkhouse. So I think everything is out of the truck, everything is out of the van, everything out of your car, everything is out of M's car. That's how a kettle is formed. A small rock will get tumbled around in that circle and it'll erode a hole into the rock. So I ordered the fish and chips for lunch. I think they gave me the whale and chips instead. Check this out. Look at this thing. It's huge. My lord. Well, good morning, everybody. As you can see, we are not at the cabin this morning. I am at the University of Minnesota Duluth campus because my daughter has been accepted into medical school, and today is the ceremony where she receives her white coat to start the freshman year of her medical school journey. So come along with and spend some time with old River Dog, myself, and celebrate my daughter's great accomplishment.
And try to sit in like the first row.
Okay, are you nervous?
No. I'm nervous I'm gonna trip on the stage.
All right, well, I'm gonna go get a seat. Are you gonna come up, Nolan, or are you gonna hang out with her for a little bit?
Yeah, you should go with
okay.
you.
All right, then let's go get a seat then. Okay. So, all right, good luck. Love you. Bye.
Anika Aldine.
Well, River Dog, time to head back to the cabin. What do you think? You had enough of Duluth? You ready to go to the cabin? All right. I came back from Duluth today and I picked up a pizza on the way, and I thought, well, it's too hot to heat up the cabin by having the stove on, which is why we need a summer kitchen. So I thought, well, we'll try to cook it on the grill. And I've had various success doing this. In the past, I haven't used the pizza stone from the kitchen, so we'll give it a shot this time and see how she goes. It looks pretty good, actually. I think we'll give it just a minute to rest and pull it off. Ooh, she's warm. She's a warm one. I'm going to call that a success, and the big difference was A, using the thermometer, and B, using the pizza stone. Let's eat. Well, ever since I cut these trees down, I've been thinking about what to do with these stumps. Now, I could have cut them off, but then they're still sticking up above the ground and they're still a pain in the butt. So one thing I thought was maybe I would make a table out of them. So the first thing I got to do is cut them off level, which is always fun. Because if you've ever tried to saw a completely flat surface with a chainsaw, it's about impossible. So I thought I would nail up some boards. Hopefully that would help me out with getting them level. Well, let's get some waterproofing on that and then see if we can dig out the board that's supposed to go on top. Hopefully this stuff is okay. It came from a thrift store, or it came from a recycling center about 5 years ago. I have no idea what the history of it was, but I know it's been stored improperly here for 5 years out in the elements. It's one of those things, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it doesn't work, then I probably should be using it up so I can get rid of the jar. If it doesn't work, I should at least probably not keep it in there, is what I'm saying. Good morning, everybody. I picked most of my garlic maybe a week or two ago, but it was really small and really didn't look very good. So I thought I would leave it in the soil for a couple more weeks. But it is supposed to rain for the next couple days, so now is a good time to just call it quits and get it out of the ground before it starts to get too wet and starts to rot. So I'm just going to pick the rest of the garlic noon and be done with it. So the cloves are very, very small. Again, I think this year is going to be a bust again. I did plant it in the spring, so that's probably a part of the factor. This weed right here, I haven't taken it out of the garden because it's actually an edible plant. It's called purslane. And it is extremely high in omega-3 fatty acids. So I haven't picked it because I was maybe going to eat it one night. So I'll just leave it in there for a little bit. Yeah, I'm really disappointed in the garlic this year. That's 2 years in a row I have failed. I mean, look at that. That's ridiculous. That's not even, that's probably the size I planted actually. Like, it hasn't even grown. Bummer. Garlic is one of those things I really use throughout the year, and I was really hoping to be able to source my own and not have to buy it anymore, but clearly that's not going to work this year. Pretty pathetic harvest of garlic. This one right here was elephant garlic, and I think I'll just leave that in there because I don't really have high hopes for it anyway. So we'll just let her sit. Yep, I'm very disappointed in this year's garlic. I'm not sure what the deal is with it, but Boy, the sun is really hard to work with today. The lighting is really off. Pretty pathetic garlic harvest this year, that's for sure. What are you gonna do? Try something different next year, I guess. Good morning, everybody. The sun is shining this morning, so I'm going to take this opportunity to get everything charged up. Now, normally my solar is enough to keep up with my refrigerator, the lights in the cabin, and then charging all the things like my tool batteries, my laptop, phones, etc. But we've had some cloudy weather, and I've been using a lot of my extra power sources for running lights and a fan in the bunkhouse. So today, everything is a little bit low. So normally during the day, the solar panels are enough to charge the house battery, which at the same time I charge my laptops and things like that. So that normally keeps up pretty well. But my Blue Eddy, which I've been using for toasters and microwaves and things like that, that is drained down to about 20%, and that takes, and because I only have 300 watts of solar, that takes a very long time to charge back up with solar. So I'm going to cheat today, turn on the generator and get the Blue Eddy charged up. And as long as I'm doing that, I might as well charge up everything else at the same time. So I'm just going to show you quick how I use my generator to charge things within my house. So in front of you, I have my 300 watt solar panel bank, and I have 200 watts of solar here. Now currently I'm just charging one of my small Blue Eddy power stations with the 200 watt foldable panel, but my large 2000 watt Blue Eddy, that takes a very long time to charge with only 300 watts of solar. So I'm going to cheat and use the generator today. So how I use the generator to charge things inside the cabin is just with a pass-through plug. I have this little marine grade plug, and typically what these are used for is people would put these on the side of their boat, and then they would be able to charge like their marine batteries. They would just pull into their garage or wherever, plug in their plug-in, and it would pass through into the boat, into the battery bank, and that way they could charge like all their trolling batteries, things like that. But in my particular instance, it works great as a pass-through into the house. Now on the interior wall of the cabin is a female power receptacle. So I'm just able to plug in all of my electronics or battery banks or whatever, just like a regular outlet on the inside of the wall. So it works out pretty well just to be able to plug the generator into the side of the wall and have live power on the inside of the cabin. There's something weird about this generator where if you tip it up kind of in this position for a little bit, it usually starts right up. So there must be a thing about the gas and how it gets into the carburetor. So now that we're inside the cabin, yep, so I'm pulling in right now 460 watts off the generator, and I'm at 22% on the Blue Eddy. Now the nice thing about the Blue Eddy is I can go ahead and charge other things while I'm charging the Blue Eddy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my power strip, and now I have power to all of the outlets in the cabin. So right now the sun is charging my tool batteries, it's charging my laptop, and it's actually running my portable 12-volt refrigerator. The Blue Eddy, which I use for the microwave and toaster primarily, that is being charged by the generator currently, and at the same time that I'm charging this, I am using the Blue Eddy to power my outlets in the cabin, and currently I have my portable speaker plugged into the outlet, so that is charging as well. So I'm kind of doing lots of things at the same time, and I don't use the generator very often. It's usually only for if I really get behind on solar. And for the last couple days, I've been using a lot of batteries on the Blue Eddy, and that was getting pretty low because I haven't charged that probably since the beginning of the summer. So I was overdue on that. So as long as I have to run the generator, I'm also get everything topped off at once. lighter one at a time. So one of the projects that I intended to work on today was to get this shower pan installed on the floor. But before I put it on the floor, I had to finish the wiring in this wall, and then I have to finish insulation. The problem is, when I got the bag of insulation yesterday, I intended to get 16-inch on centers, and I accidentally got 24-inch on centers. So, needless to say, I don't have what I need to work on this, but we're not going to let the opportunity go to waste. We're going to throw up what I do have of the insulation on the ceiling, because those are 24-inch centers. The other thing I needed to do was, I'm a little bit worried about these two light locations and if they're going to create shadows with this ceiling fan. I'm going to move this light down one more rafter and maybe install the lights and see what sort of interference this fan actually does have. Anyway, let's use what we do have and get some of these resources off the floor and out of the way, because all of this stuff laying around just makes it extremely unorganized and hard to work in here. Well, I've had the fan wired for a while now, but I've wondered if these lights will interfere with the fan blades, if they'll cast weird shadows and whatnot. So this light here was over there. I moved it over, hopefully to avoid that. But of course I'm off grid, so I don't exactly have a circuit box yet. So for right now, I'm going to test these lights with this power bank, which should have a circuit breaker in it. So fingers crossed, when I hit the switch and the lights work, and the lights are different colors. Shoot. So these lights have three settings. They have high, they have like a soft light, a cold light, and then a medium. And clearly one is on cold and one is on warm. They look okay though. How many watts are we drawing? 28 watts. Huh, 28 watts. I did not expect that. I was expecting like 10, 12. So the lights work. You can see this one's a little bit yellower and this one's a little bit whiter. So maybe I'll leave them like that and see which one I like best. But so I've reached kind of a point where I think I'm done for the day. I'm going to turn that off before I kill the battery bank. 28 watts. That's a lot. Well, I think I have it wired correctly, so that's good at least. All right, now I'm gonna have to go look at the directions and look at the watts on that, because that 28 watt, well, you know what though? 12, 28, half of that would be, 14. That's about what I was thinking, was 10 to 12 watts per light. So that would make sense since I have two of them. So 280 watts would take 10 hours. Well, that's okay, I guess. We can probably deal with that.
This goes for higher, even if you're just dancing in the dark. I get up in the evening, and I ain't got nothing to say. I come home in the morning, I go to bed feeling the same way. I ain't nothing but tired, man, I'm just tired and bored of myself. Hey there, baby, I could use just a little